Here's a question nobody asks out loud, but everybody eventually thinks about. Where are the humans? Bluey is set in Brisbane, Australia, a real city, with real streets, real suburbs, real coffee shops, real airports, real hospitals, and real universities. Everything about the world of Bluey looks exactly like the world we live in. The roads are paved, the buildings are modern, the cars are normal, the supermarkets are full of food, the infrastructure is completely intact, everything works, everything exists, and there is not a single human being anywhere. And that answer, tucked inside a preschool cartoon about a dog family playing pretend in Brisbane, is genuinely one of the most disturbing things hiding in plain sight on children's television. So today, we are going to find every clue the show left behind, and we are going to follow them all the way to the end. Most cartoons with talking animals sidestep the human question by creating a completely different world. The animals live in burrows or tree houses or little villages. The infrastructure is built to their scale. Nothing looks like Earth. You never have to ask where the humans went because it was never a human world to begin with. Bluey does not do this, not even slightly. Bluey is set in an incredibly detailed and accurate version of real-world Brisbane, Queensland, Australia. The Healer family lives in a suburb called Taringa, a real suburb in the western part of the city. The buildings in the skyline are real buildings. The one William Street skyscraper appears directly in one of the show's animated shorts. The roads, parks, hospitals, shopping centers, and beaches are all based on real Brisbane locations that the creative team researched in obsessive detail. This is not a parallel world. This is our world, reproduced with total accuracy, and it was clearly built by humans. The cars were designed for human hands on human steering wheels. The houses have human-scale architecture. The universities and museums and airports are human institutions. The entire infrastructure of civilization surrounds these dogs at every moment, and all of it was built by creatures that no longer appear anywhere in the picture. That detail is the thing that makes the human question so uncomfortable in Bluey specifically. In another cartoon, you would shrug and move on. In Bluey, which is committed to photographic accuracy and everything else, the complete and total absence of humans is not something you can explain away as an artistic choice. It is a deliberate decision, and the show left the evidence for why. Here is where the disturbing part begins in earnest. In the episode Hammer Barn, which is the second part of The Sign, Trixie mentions in passing that she has a pony, a pet pony. Her pony is not anthropomorphic. It does not talk. It does not have opinions about the housing market or cheer at birthday parties. It is just a regular, non-talking pony that Trixie owns and cares for as a pet. This is strange, but manageable. Ponies exist. Dogs could own ponies. But then there is the question of Bluey's pet in one of her imaginary home videos from an early episode. In the home video, little Bluey expresses that what she really wants more than anything is a pet puppy dog, not a pet bird. Not a pet fish, a puppy dog, a small, non-anthropomorphic quadrupedal dog, a dog who would be Bluey's pet, in a world where Bluey is also a dog. Sit with that for a moment. In the world of Bluey, anthropomorphic upright talking dogs keep non-anthropomorphic non-talking dogs as pets. The dominant intelligent species of this world is dogs, and they have as pets a lesser version of themselves, the same animal, same species, broadly speaking, but divided into two categories: the kind that walks upright, talks, works a job, raises a family, and watches the footy on weekends, and the kind that lives in a backyard and gets taken for walks. The single most important piece of evidence in this entire discussion is hiding inside a 90-second animated short that most people outside Australia had never seen until March 2025, when it was finally uploaded to the official Bluey YouTube channel worldwide. It is called Archaeology, and it changes everything. In it, Bandit Healer stands at a podium in front of an academic audience. He is presenting the findings of his latest archaeological dig, and what he found is a fossilized bone. He describes it to the audience in full academic detail, explaining the morphology of the femur, its pronounced robusticity, its rugged muscle attachments. He concludes that this bone is indisputable evidence of bipedal locomotion and evolutionary descent from a quadrupedal ancestor. Then he reveals what the bone is. It is, as Bandit describes to a gasping and applauding audience, the only known fossil of the first dog to walk upright, the ancestor of all modern dogs. An early canid, a primitive but intelligent toolmaker who walked the earth over 4 million years ago and whose bones represent a singular find of unprecedented significance for the understanding of the origin of modern dogs. Dogs developed intelligence, language, civilization, universities, cars, suburbs, and a passion for backyard cricket completely independently, and they did it in what appears to be a recognizable version of modern Australia, which means one of two things. Either humans never existed in the first place, and dogs built everything you see from scratch, or humans did exist, built the entire civilization, and then disappeared, leaving the dogs to inherit everything they made. Both options are genuinely unsettling. The show chose to put the fossil evidence on the official YouTube channel and say nothing further about it. The most popular and most compelling theory about the world of Bluey is this one. Humans existed, humans built everything, and then humans disappeared. And dogs, who had been living alongside humans for tens of thousands of years, eventually evolved intelligence, stood upright, and inherited the civilization that humans left behind. This theory fits the physical evidence of the show almost perfectly. The cars in Bluey are regular human-scaled cars. The steering wheels are positioned for human hands, not dog paws. The houses have human-scale architecture. Door handles are at human height. Toilets, sinks, and countertops are all built for the proportions of a human body. The dogs of Bluey use all of this infrastructure, but they did not design it. The design language of the entire built environment is human. The dogs moved in. Whatever happened to the humans happened a long time ago. Long enough that it is simply the normal state of the world for the dogs who live in it now. Long enough that Bluey and Bingo have never asked the question, because the question does not exist for them. There were no humans. There is just Brisbane, the park, and a dad who cheats at obstacle courses. Here is what Joe Brumm has actually said about why there are no humans in Bluey. In his NPR interview, Brumm explained that the decision to use talking dogs rather than human characters came from a very specific creative instinct. He wanted the show to feel emotionally honest and relatable, while also giving it a layer of distance that would allow him to address real, sometimes heavy subject matter, such as divorce, death, miscarriage, grief, loss, and the passage of time, without it feeling too raw or too close for young audiences. Dogs as a stand-in for humans create what Brumm described as a degree of separation that lets the show go to those real emotional places without overwhelming the children watching it. And it started, practically speaking, from Peppa Pig. When Brumm was developing the concept for Bluey, his original intention was to make an Australian version of Peppa Pig. He swapped the pigs for dogs and changed the personality of the father. The animal choice was initially almost arbitrary. It became Australian by breed because Brumm is Australian, and the show is set in Brisbane, and putting a blue heeler family at the center of it felt right and specific and true. So the simple answer, the real answer from the actual creator, is that the dogs are just humans wearing a costume. There are no humans in Bluey because the dogs are the humans. They always were. The show is about people, specifically Australian families in a specific city doing specific things. The dog element is the creative layer that allows it to be a cartoon while still being brutally honest about what family life actually looks and feels like. But here is the thing about that answer. It does not explain the archaeology short. It does not explain the pet puppy dog. It does not explain why the cars are built for human hands. It does not explain the non-talking ponies. Joe Brumm made a warm, funny, emotionally devastating show about a dog family in Brisbane. The show accidentally built a post-apocalyptic world around them and left all the evidence in plain sight. And a 90-second animated short about a fossil confirmed every single detail. Bluey is set after the end of humanity. The dogs are doing fine, and Bandit almost ate the only evidence that proved it. Smash that like button if this one broke your brain in the best possible way, and subscribe so you never miss another video like this one. Got another cartoon mystery you want us to dig into? Drop it in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and we will see you next time.